Слава Україні!
Hello comrades and welcome to MOWAS2 Squad 2, part 5 of the UFO mod show-off. This is the vehicle section. We are now into the tanks, trailers, trains, and anti-air. So, let's hop right into it. We have here the trailers to start with. We have a fuel tank. All those trucks you saw in the other video that looked like they were missing parts. These are what'll connect to them, which is pretty cool. We have a weird little mobile home trailer here. Most of these won't serve any like combat purpose, they'll just kind of be for aesthetics. Some stuff from Call to Arms here. The plow, the trailer holding the logs. This one's labeled as dung, so that's great. We got a flatbed here for transporting tanks. I have no idea what this one here is supposed to be used for. It's interesting though. Got a radar system thing here. Very portable and mobile, I guess. I think this is the Americans trailer for transporting tanks. This one is the Russian one. Another little flatbed trailer piece here. Little wagon thing. This is a standard cargo one. Pretty cool. This one here too. This is a bunch of different textures for it. I'm just not going to bother with showing them. But yeah. Here we have one. This one's for moving the farming equipment. It's pretty cool. That's it for the trailers. Not a whole bunch. Here we go with the trains. Now this stuff is really cool because trains, just like the also like the planes, I mean, they're a usable feature. I mean, trains have even less usage in most mods, but they've added it in this one. So this is a Canadian train of some kind. A line of Czech kind of electric rail cars, mainly, not exactly trains, but very cool though. A good number of different textures and stuff to pick from, and they all work perfectly fine. You have a European speed rail train, so it's like the Europeans' version of a bullet train. Very cool. Here we have the little tram from Call to Arms. The Call to Arms hasn't made a sound for this yet, so in game it doesn't have any noises unless when it's starting up and stopping. But other than that, it is fully working. Here we have a German crane piece. I don't know if it's animated to do anything or not, but it's massive and pretty cool. And the train itself. Deutsches Bundesbahn? I don't know. It's labeled as East German, DDR, so maybe this is from the East German era, maybe it's mislabeled, who knows. Some other stuff, another train piece from Call to Arms. It doesn't work in Call to Arms unless you put it as a, you select the abilities and you put select as an option. It doesn't have any noises. I mean, in this mod it does, they gave it some, but in Call to Arms, from last I remember, Call to Arms doesn't have a noise for this train. So, still cool that they ported it over. Other kind of unique trailers, container pieces. Some American trains here. The Kansas City Southern. Union Pacific, I've heard of them. I don't know too much about rails, but still very cool. Got some Russian trains here, a good number of them. A large snow train, so I think it's like this thing plows it up, pushes the snow through here, and it just kind of pushes it all. I don't know exactly how it works, but it all like connects together as like one long operating machine piece, which is pretty cool. A small crane. I'm not sure if it's animated to do anything or not. Still very cool. Got this little guy from Metro 2033. Some other cool stuff. Just not exactly like military use to it, more or less just kind of aesthetics. If you wanted a train going in the background, or if the Wasteland series guys, if any of you want like a train to be used for something, seen in a video of some kind, let me know. I'd be happy to put these to use. Alrighty, so now we're on to the anti-air. This little technical with the ZSU on it. A Canadian one. Really cool, interesting stuff here. I like this one, the BMP body, but like this big kind of cannon thing. I think it's like operated from the inside. You don't have like any seat or exposed person, which is pretty cool. The Vietnam one here, they seem to have just used the T-34 body and slapped on a anti-air cannon. Very cool. Not sure how effective it actually was, if it ever existed or took part in anything, but still cool. Some of these come from, I think, Wargame Red Dragon. Very cool though. This Chinese rocket pod one. That's one large missile. The ZSU on this little truck. This other interesting one. I guess like the missile pods aim straight up to fire. Just a whole unique set of armored vehicles and stuff that you haven't seen in other mods. Altogether, at least. I mean, you might have seen some of these in separate different mods, but having them all together under one large mod is just awesome. Some pretty cool German stuff here. Some Israeli tanks now. BTR 40, I think. The M136? I can't remember exactly. I don't think it is labeled as M113, I think it's M136. I could be wrong though. You know, we see something for Italy. I have no idea why this is an anti-air. Maybe it's a mistake, or maybe this cannon is meant to aim like straight upwards or something. Or like track the movement of planes and air helicopters with this radar piece. No idea. Very cool though. If any of you Wasteland guys want these vehicles, just do the usual, send a screenshot of the vehicles that you pause on in this video. There we are, we got other interior stuff here. I think this is the Avenger, the Humvee Avenger. Some rocket pods on the back, very cool. The North Korean, it's like their version of the Shilka, but only has 2 cannons instead of 4. Oh, a bit of a different body build. Still cool though. This Canadian flatbed truck with a anti-air cannon on the back. This is some Polish equipment now. Looks like some very mobile stuff, kind of light cannons. Nothing too heavy or serious. Here we have some technicals. This is part of the Bandit corporations. So kind of homemade, slapped together anti-air vehicles. Very nicely done, I think. It'll work great with Wasteland. South Korean anti-air vehicle. I think there's some Swedish ones now. Very nice looking. This doesn't really look like anti-air, but I could be wrong. Same with this guy. This doesn't look necessarily anti-air, but still very nice. I think this is the tracked rapier from Wargame. This is from Arma. It's very futuristic looking. It's for Turkestan. Also, it's been requested that I make an India faction, so I might do that for some of these vehicles. All I know how to do is slap on an Indian flag to things. I don't know how to fully texturize properly to it, but if you guys want like a certain nation, you see a uniform that's similar enough, or whatever, I'm glad to do that as well. More anti-air stuff. Oh wait, no, this is the Avenger. Can't remember what this is, but it has a turret though. So it's obviously meant to be closer towards the front line kind of combat. A British anti-air cannon thing. Very nice stuff. Some more American stuff. We have the Patriot launcher. I'm sure you've all seen this before. Here we have some anti-air for the Russians. We have this big radar piece. And these, I have seen these in action before. Very cool. We have the truck that pulls them along. Here we have the old style Buk. Or maybe not exactly old style, but it's a version of the Buk missile system. Here we have the KAMAZ with a ZSU on the back. A anti-air piece here, a German piece. Actually, no, that's Russian as well. I lied. Here we have the thing with a Typhoon. I got like an anti-air cannon instead of the normal kind of infantry holding compartment. Got these unique set of anti-air vehicles. Got the Armenian skin. Got a Belarusian skin, which is nice. Got the BMP-1 with a ZSU slapped on top. A BRDM Strela. Got the BTR. I want to say it's like the BTR 50 or something with a anti-air cannon in the back. Same with that one. Here we have the Buk. This is the style of the one that Russia deployed in East Ukraine to shoot down MH17. Well, not to shoot down MH17, but that quote-unquote mistakenly did. Got a little Venezuelan skin. Here we have the MTLB, I think. The ZSU slapped on top. Another Strela. That's the name of this top cannon piece. The Ural truck with an anti-air cannon. Missiles. The Shilka. We've all seen that. The DDR's version of a anti-air thing. It has this little missile pods that'll pop up when you're firing it. Very cool. BRM, I think is what this is. BRDM or BMP. I don't know. Cool regardless. Got the Gaz 66. Very awesome stuff. Alright, so these are Venezuela's equipment. I'll probably rebrand it with the proper Venezuelan flag. Here we got Yugoslavia. Very nice. Alrighty, we're going to move on to tanks now. We have the Centurion Mark 7 with anti-tank rockets on the front. This is the Canadian variant. Some other strange Canadian tanks here. This really weird looking Czech T-72. The armor plating on it is what I'm talking about. Really interesting. The Czech's T-55. Here we have the ZTZ-59, I think. I don't know exactly, it's Chinese. Here we have the PT-76. There's a Vietnamese marine camo on it. Very cool, very unique. Another line of Chinese tanks. Very interesting. The Jaguar something, I don't know. Very nice though. This is the Z99, I think. It's cool as the animated flag on the back. It's not like the flag handle just attached to the vehicle. It kind of looks like it's hanging on the wire there. It's really nice. A few other good variants, different skins and whatnot. Another one, I'm not sure what the YW means. Maybe it's a training tank of some kind, or maybe it's for parade, who knows. Very cool. Is there a British tank, or no. These are British tanks, here we go. Very interesting looking. Here we have the chieftains with the ERA armor on it. Desert camo. These are French tanks now. The AMX 30s. Different types of armor plating. Here we have the Germans with the Leopard tanks. It's either Leopard or Leopard. Got some Canadian skins for them. Getting a little more advanced as we go along. Very cool looking. These guys look like they're maybe Cold War era. Very effective kind. They have little missile pods that are hiding down here. They'll pop up when you use them. Very interesting style. As well as the double cannon. Well, it looks really ineffective because you'd have to turn the whole body of the tank to be able to shoot at your enemy. So I mean, I guess as a stationary defense kind of vehicle, I guess it makes sense. This one has massive turret here. A good number of German tanks. More of that wacky double barrel gun design. I have no idea how effective that actually be. Moving on to Israel now. Again, Wasteland guys. Pause the video, get screenshots, ask for certain vehicles. Here we have the line of Merkavas. I think this is the Mark IV here, the dark gray, and I think this is their latest model. I could be wrong though. This is a weird tank right here. Can't remember what it's called, no idea what it would be for. Some Japanese tanks here. Very interesting. Here we have North Korea. Or the Chongmo, I think. A Pyongyang tank, maybe? It's Pong something. Very interesting. We have some Norwegian tanks. The Vietnamese tank here, the T-55. He has multiple textures, so I just decided to go with plain green. And we have the ugliest tank ever, but also very futuristic looking. It's a Polish tank. I have no idea how effective this would actually be in combat. I mean, it's such sleek armor. Maybe it's like a good design, maybe it's a really dumb design. But I've never really seen this thing before. It's very, very futuristic looking. Almost looks like it should be hovering instead of being on tracks. The PT-76. T-72. This is the Polish variant. Here we have it, the trawl. I don't know if that's like for anti-mining or something. Very cool though. Here we got the South Koreans, the K-1A. Can't remember this one's name. Some Swedish tanks here. I recognize these ones from Battlefield 4. Although they were hovering, I think. Very cool. Got some Turkish tanks here. This is the, I think, the Mac or Mark 7. There's a few other skins, but I just kept with the desert one. We have the M1A1. This is the M1A1 with the trawl. So this is like for pushing aside debris and whatnot. Something I haven't seen before. Would love to try porting that over to Rise of Nationality. Here we have the this is the M1A2 Tusk. Can't remember the names of these ones, but if you recognize them, you'll know. I know this one here. This is the M55. It's a weird stubby barreled kind of like heavy mortar tank. Or at least I think in Wargame Red Dragon these things work as mortars. Mobile mortars. And we have the infamous bridge layer. This unfortunately it's animated to fold out the bridge, but it doesn't actually place the bridge down. In Call to Arms there was a well, there still is, I think, a mod that had all this modern stuff added, or all these like other stuff that was added, and it had this tank layer, bridge layer, and you could actually order the vehicle to set out the bridge, and it would actually spawn a bridge piece. It was really cool. Yeah, a stubby barreled one with a bulldozer on the front, or a plow, not bulldozer. Very weird looking. That's some other American tanks I haven't seen before. And this one with a really weird texture. Like rustic brownish red color. Yeah, the different T-72s from Russia. T-90 with the camouflage net. T-90 without. This is the T-90S or T-90MS or something. Very cool. This is T-15s. Can't be exact though. Yeah, T-14 Armta. Not seen this guy before. Very cool though. It's a variant of the T-90. The North Korean T-90AS or something. Oh wait, no, this might be the T-80. No, I'm struggling to remember now. Here we have the Ukrainian T-64. This is the Ukrainian T-72 and the Ukrainian T-84. Some more Russian tanks. The Su-144, I think, from maybe like the very late stages of the World War II. T-62s, this one with like a trailer or trawl thing, so probably for demining. Another T-72. There's like a whole host of different T-72s and T-80s. These are T-80s right here. With the Soviets or the Russians' bridge layer tank. This is like the Red Guards emblem there. Very cool. Another weird variant of the T-72 right here. Looks almost like it's supposed to be a mobile artillery of some kind. Such a massive gun. Here we have the Yugoslav army. We got the Vihor. The armor plating, one without armor plating. The T-55. And the M84, I think. That's it for the tanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you liked all that you saw. I hope this encourages you to download the mod. That's it. This is it for the show off. It's everything. So again, Wasteland guys, see any tanks or any armor that you, or trailers or trains and stuff that you want for your faction, just pause the video, give a screenshot in the Discord, and or even list it by name, and I'll see to it that you get that some way into the lore. But without further ado, I hope you enjoyed.